with Memories Museum and Groups. Let me see if I can find the live feed. Oh wow. That looks good. What is that? Well, the wind is blowing 90 miles an hour. Okay, hold on. Trying to style it. Bear with me. So today is Saturday. January 8th, is it 18th? Yeah. Okay, I'm sharing it to several platforms. And okay, so we've got one person in and me. There we go. Well, I can't get to the... There's another one. Okay. It's windy and it's not that cold, but it's cool. The weather goes downhill from here. It says it's 40, feels like 31, and the wind is blowing. Wind gust up to 28 miles per hour. So tomorrow morning this time it's going to be 23 degrees and only a high of 37. Monday morning it's going to be 22 degrees and be high of 37. Tuesday 22 and 37. Wednesday it gets up to the 50s. So I will be hibernated for at least tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. I might be here Tuesday. I don't know if I will or not. But there's no work that can be done in the detail part, so there's no sense in me coming down here. I can do the shows. I won't be able to do the YouTubes, but I can do the other shows from the house. Okay, so what is going on anywhere? If you want to watch the ball game today, Rex's Bar and Grill is having a big blowout over there. They're expecting a full house. NFL today. Should have said games. Oh yeah. Texans and the Chiefs. I hope that's on Fox or something. Is it? NFL today on TV. Why didn't this thing just tell you if it's on regular TV? Why does it make you jump through all these hoops? It's only on live stream. Still won't show me. I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay, does anybody know? Are you going to be able to watch it on regular TV? I hate this stupid internet. I've asked it 5 times and it won't tell me. That's BS. Is it on regular TV? Won't tell me. Okay, so much for that. Does anybody have a clue? Can you watch the Chiefs game on television? Regular television, where you don't have to pay another $30 or $40. I'm going to switch to DuckDuckGo for a search engine. That Google's ridiculous. I asked it 5 times, 6 times, and it won't tell me. James is in, Missy's in. Okay, so to hell with it. I don't want to watch it anyway. I hadn't heard back from anybody. Have we checked on the Thursday, January 30th, if you have to wear something purple, or if it has to be purple and says TCU, to get in free to the Midway? If anybody knows that, please let me know. We do have a mechanic now. I will start promoting them. Phelps Family Auto Care. Phelps Family Car Care. When we were talking about them the other day, there was a lot of people that are on our group that already use them. They're all about doing business the correct way. I've talked to them at length. Somebody wants to know, when I say which side is your favorite, north side, west side, south side, or east side, they're wanting to know Diamond Hill or that place or that place. There's only 4 sides. All of those schools or areas fit into one of those sides, so you're more than happy to put down there what you want, but we're not going to have a deal that says Diamond Hill area or Rock Island Railroad area or whatever. Roy, I can't do that. People say their account's locked and they want to send a message. That's how my account got locked 2 or 3 years ago, and I don't care who it's for. I can't do it. I won't do it. This day is not starting out to be a very good day. We're eating at Tommy's at Ridgemar Circle. That's the area around Ridgemar Mall. 1 o'clock. They told Brittany that they don't want people pulling tables together, so we'll just have to eat as close as we can to each other. We've done that before. Usually at Kincaid's, we eat on those long picnic tables, but you know, that's the way it is. It is. Okay, so which one is the one I'm on now? We're not supposed to have any precipitation that I know of. Sam is in. That could change though, you know. The weather changes here at the drop of a hat. You know, I was telling y'all that I think that Jerry just uses this looking for a new coach to string everybody along. It's like he's already decided that it's going to be Deion Sanders. They haven't even formally talked yet. You got to keep reading all of those deals. They just use that. They're selling sensationalism, doing the same thing that the Inquirer and all of that does. So we don't know anything. I would imagine there's several teams want to talk to Deion Sanders. There's a history between Deion and Jerry, and so I'm sure that'll come into play, and I'm sure that he'll probably talk to him, but Jerry will come up with some wild card guy out of the blue that taught at Tech High School or something. You know, that's Jerry. Elva's in. Sam is in. People have sent me lots of messages about the issue with the jail deaths. And then a couple of days ago we had this 28-year-old young man that his mother called in, and it was a medical issue, you know, mental. She said he had mental problems, and somehow when the police got there they shot him 8 times and he had a knife. I don't know any more information than y'all know. Does that seem strange to me? For sure. If you got, I don't know how many police officers were there, but if you got a 28-year-old man holding his mother at knife point, I wouldn't think it takes 8 bullets to get him down. I mean, I don't know. I'm 100% behind our police officers. Bill Wayburn is a friend of mine. That doesn't sway whatever I think. I think there's way too many deaths in the jail. Elisa Simmons, who I've worked with on several different issues over the years, she brought up the fact the other day at the Commissioner's Court when Sheriff Wayburn was there, and said that we've had, like, in 2024 I think there was 10 or 11 deaths in our jail. And she said, and Sheriff Wayburn, you told us the jail population is 4,500. And then she brought up a figure from Harris County, which is Houston. They have double the size of the population. They have 10,000 in their jail, and they have 1 less death. Good morning, Diane. Shelley is in. They've had, like, we've had 11 deaths in 2024. They've had like 10. So yeah, there's an issue. I don't have any idea what the answer is. I'm not a person that knows anything about proper procedure for incarceration. One thing I can tell you, and I made it public many times, I rewatched the video of the Marine that was killed in the jail and the video of George Floyd. They both said the same thing: I cannot breathe. And that's from that knee in the back. And I said, why do we still practice that? Well, you just do it for a certain length of time. What if the guy that's doing it doesn't know the certain length of time? So the result is death. They need to stop that knee in the back deal. I don't know what they need to do. Tase the person, or leave them locked up in their cell. I mean, I don't know. But apparently that knee in the back deal kills you. And so why we would still practice that, and they say we do, well, that's ridiculous. And another issue is all of these lawsuits that we, the taxpayers, are having to pay off. There was a girl that was killed, or that died, about a week or 10 days after that Marine, and I think we settled with their family for $775,000. That Marine's death, there's no telling, it's probably going to be several million. The taxpayers can't. At some point, the city's going to have to figure out we can't pay all of these deals. We got to get somebody in there that runs the jail that knows what they're doing. So my question, and nobody's answered me yet, maybe Elva can, she stays up to snuff on this stuff, is the person that they've hired that's called the chief of the jail. So he is now in charge of the jail, and so Sheriff Wayburn is not in charge of it anymore. Is that correct? I don't know that. Oh, so the game is on Channel 8? Thank you. I'm not using Google anymore. I'm going to use DuckDuckGo. I asked that Google, is there any NFL games on regular TV, not pay-per-view? And it won't tell you. I just asked it a simple question it needs to answer with a simple answer. So anyway, that's all I know about the jail situation. I don't know what the answer is. I know there's too many deaths. And I mean, if you got 4,500 people continually locked up every day for a year, there's going to be some of those people die of natural causes, or maybe they had cancer before they were arrested or whatever. But it's the ones that are killed, like that Marine, he was killed. So I don't, like I say, I don't even attempt to think that I know what the answer is, but something needs to be done. Okay, so we answered that. That's fine. So anyway, Rex's Bar and Grill is open. I think he said it's open they're going to have that Chiefs game on television. So be the first to go over there and watch. They're going to start serving lunch next week. Rex Benson, the Benson family and myself have been kind of working hand in hand since the 60s. Dave Benson, Rex's father, I did a little work for him over the years. And so Rex's Bar and Grill is in the old Macaroni Grill. So when you pull into Old South on University, both places where you can eat and then the bar you can drink are owned by Rex Benson. Okay, so Brittany said the 30th, you have to have TC. It has to say TCU. Everybody's bound to have an old TCU cap or shirt or something. But if you wear that on Thursday the 30th, you don't have to pay to get into the Midway or the exhibits building. Karen's in. Thank you, Brittany. What's the weather like in New Jersey? We're getting ready to hunker down for another round of cold. I see Trevor is on here. Trevor, I'm sorry about your son. I don't know. I just kind of started looking at that. I don't know what's going on, but here again, this is another. Is he in the jail or is he in John Peter Smith? I haven't researched that enough. But one thing we can rest assured, Elisa Simmons is going to get to the bottom of it. So, okay. So this new person that they've hired, that I read it as the chief of the jail. Is that his title? So he still is under the control or under the leadership of Sheriff Wayburn. Is that correct, Elva? that problem, yeah, no, and Trevor, you're right, and like I say, I worked with Elisa Simmons on several projects. They they came on board with the Mary Keys Gibson situation and wanted to be part of it. Of course, I told them immediately that we discovered Mary Keys. We did all the legwork. It took me about a year to get it to where she was recognized down at City Hall. And the only reason that happened is because I would make posts and y'all would go on there and demand for the city to have a proclamation read for Mary Keys Gibson. For those that don't know who she is or was, she left Fort Worth in 1907 on a train and went to Jamestown, New York, and became one of 52 African American nurses that had gone to a college and got a degree for nursing. And she came back to Fort Worth. She worked for Dr. Charles Ransom, who was the African American big doctor here in those early years, and she also worked for Dr. Charles Harris. The thing that I always said that the Lord had his hand in that is because in the 1800s, late 1800s, Mary Keys was in Sherman area and on a slave plantation, and they nicknamed her Molly. Well, she ends up in Fort Worth, Texas, and what's the name of our longhorn steer? Molly. But she was a caregiver at an early age, and like I say, she was the first African American nurse to get a college nursing degree in 17 states in the South. And up until we got her a proclamation read, you can't find out anything about her. Of course, now there's different groups trying to get on board. I've talked to the TCU's medical department. The Tech High School, somebody that teaches nurses, they need to have they need to rename their program the Mary Keys Gibson program or something. That lady to me was just as important in Fort Worth as Amon Carter Sr. The difference was she was an African American and he was white. Okay, so I'm going to try to research that, Trevor. I might be instant messaging you back and forth because I think after today I'll be at home for 2 or 3 days. You can't wash cars when it's 20 degrees. But that situation, the jail situation, has got to be something has got to be done. But also, the county judge, Tim O'Hare, and Manny Ramirez and the other commissioners, I think they're going to get to the bottom of it because we figured out that the city or the county can't pay all this money for these deaths. Janice is in. Another issue that we've taken up is the animal shelters. And I appreciate people. I've had 3 or 4 people stop by here in the last 2 days that want to get involved in that. And one thing that they all agree on is that the general public, that's you and me and everybody that's on here, we're not knowledgeable enough to know how those shelters are really run. I see on other Facebook groups or chats that people say, oh, well, they just euthanize dogs at will and this, that, and the other. That's not correct. So I hope that we can eventually get somebody from these shelters to come on that is very knowledgeable about it and can explain to us. But the way I kind of look at it is there's 2 shelters that are run by our taxpayer dollars. So just envision a 400-room hotel and it's full. Well, they can't let the ones that are in there out just running loose, so something has to happen. So from what I've been told, when an animal is brought in, say a person brings it in or the animal control people pick up an animal out here on the street, they evaluate this animal. And if it's a good dog or cat and it's not going to be harmful to little kids or to somebody else that they foster this animal out to, or somebody adopts it, there's some that do have to be euthanized. So you need to get that through your thinking deal. But there's a whole lot of them that that we don't get enough fostered or adopted. So I'm hoping that we can start posting on Memories pictures of these animals that are up for adoption or foster or whatever. We've got the largest group in 5 counties. So, and an animal wouldn't be a bad thing for somebody that you're at home and your loved one's passed on, or you've lost your pet. These 4-legged friends of ours are always lovely, wanting to see us. They don't argue with us. So our group is going to take that project on. But here again, it always comes down to the general public is not knowledgeable enough, and they get these ideas in their heads. And that's like people are saying, well, they just kill people indiscriminately at the jails. That's not true. Those people don't get up in the morning and say, I'm going to go kill somebody that's locked up. So we can help as the general public, but we have to be knowledgeable about it. So I'm also going to send Sheriff Wayburn a invite to come back on. And Bill and I are friends. He knows that I ask the questions and we're not sugarcoating anything. And I've had people come in and say, well, what are we going to talk about? Well, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. But these 3 things my members want to know about. Well, I don't want to talk about that. Okay, see you. We want to be up to date on what's going on. That's why Maddie Parker comes on whenever we request it, along with Tom Wilder or other city elected officials. So Manny Ramirez, all of them. So anyway, that's our 2 projects right now. We're going to kind of try to start figuring out over the next few days, I'll be at home, of what's actually going on with these jails. I'm not familiar with the inner workings of them anymore. Back in the day, I was very familiar because I was in them. So we're just going to have to put our thinking caps on and get together as a group and figure out how we can help this situation. I know for a fact we can help with these animal shelters, and we can help eliminate this problem. Now, I'm going to talk about something that different areas, and I'm not saying any area, I'm not saying any age group of people, we don't neuter or spade our animals, and so therefore we're just out here producing animals and nowhere for them to go. So we have to start working together to try to eliminate that. We need to educate ourselves. People have asked me about volunteering. Some of our members want to volunteer to help out the school, Fort Worth ISD. That's great. I'm waiting on them to get back with me. They're going to come on, a couple of different people, one man and one lady that work hand in hand with Fort Worth ISD, and they're going to explain to us how we can help. I've said from the get-go, we need to try to help with the little kids and the middle school. We don't want to put our members in there with the high school kids because they're already one way of thinking, and if they're in there to start trouble, we're not going to put any of our people in there to be a punching bag or something. But they also told me that you will be vetted, so you're going to have a background check, which is no problem for our members. A lot of times I've had teachers come in and tell me that in the little kids' schools, it's just the teacher, and if a child is acting up, it's not like they can say, go to the office like when I went to school. They have to stop teaching and then deal with that situation. And if it takes 20 or 30 minutes, then the rest of the class doesn't get to learn anything that day. So if we've got one of our members in there and they can kind of add stability to the classroom and the kids might not act up, then we've done a good job. You can read to children. There's all kinds of things we can do. And so a lot of our members that are retired now, that's why I have such a large group that follows me during the daytime. You don't have a whole lot to do. That gives us purpose. You can say, well, 3 days a week I go down here and volunteer at Lily B. Clayton Elementary. You know, it gives you something to get out of the house and do. So that's our 2 winter projects, is going to be the animal shelters and how we can help Fort Worth ISD. And in fact, I'm going to have Maddie Parker come on and let her explain to us. I often tell people there's 2 individuals when I interview them. All I have to do is introduce them and then they just start talking, and they can talk for hours. Maddie Parker and Bud Kennedy. They're very, very knowledgeable about everything Fort Worth. So we can get Maddie in here, and I see that she put her hat in the ring for a 3rd term. That's a big plus for us. I try to stay neutral, but Maddie Parker is a great mayor. She tries to mayor for all people, not just one side or the other, or this extreme or that extreme. I always call it straddle the fence, and she does a good job of it. There's some things that we might not like that she does, but you've got to remember she's the mayor for all people. The people that are middle class, the people that are not that high up the totem pole, and then the people that live on the west side. So we got our work cut out for us. Georgia is in, Greg and Don are in, Randy's in, Jean is in, Sarah is in. We got all kinds of people. The South Texas group, we've got, I see y'all are off today. I talked to Sylvia yesterday. That's my shops down there. There's 53 and 20, 73 of y'all are on. So we've got the stock show in town for the next 3 weeks. So keep that in mind when you're planning your trip wherever you got to go. This area over here that I'm in, you get these trucks with these horse trailers, and so just keep in mind that there's a lot of extra traffic over here in the University Will Rogers area. Somebody asked me earlier, where do they have the rides at Dickey's? I don't see them. They don't. The only part of the stock show that is now at Dickey's is the rodeo. All of the amusements, the Midway, the buildings where they have different vendors and stuff, that's still at Will Rogers. Exhibits building is what they're called. You want to go see Buck Taylor, he's in the exhibits building at Will Rogers. And also, Trevor, I will be talking back and forth with you. I don't, stuff I've read, I can't figure that deal out. I'm sure they have rules and regulations, but that's your son. So we will find that out. The political season is here. I'll be interviewing political candidates of all parties. I've already been contacted by the socialist, whatever that lady was. She's been on before. That they have not decided yet whether to run her again for mayor. She actually got a couple of thousand votes last time. But she's run for the governor of Texas, mayor of Fort Worth, presidency of the United States. But when we interviewed her before and she got those votes, her group sent me a lifetime subscription of Militant magazine. They said she did so good on your show and got 2,700 votes or something. That's the best showing we've had. So I interview them all. It doesn't matter if you're a communist or whatever. I don't know how well you'll be accepted into our group, but okay, so don't forget, we've got a winter event coming, and I want to show you something that'll pop up on your screen. Right there. Bring us inside and keep us warm. Well, Larry, I don't have any garage where that. We'll put them in a bathroom. They're going to make a mess. Just clean it up. That's one of your kids. In fact, I got a lot of kids. My pets they treat me better than some of my kids and grandkids. Okay, so let's do our sponsors. There's Winstead Paint and Body, Clay Winstead. They have been on board as a sponsor and for the bike giveaway for years. Here's Scott. He's our IT guru. He keeps all of the memory stuff and the YouTube stuff and the other platforms running. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. So he'll build you a website or whatever you want done. Alpha Design and Building is Lance Sanders. You need a room reworked or you need a second story on your house or business, he can fix you. Casey Crawl is our Medicare and Medicaid sponsors. And all you got to do is call them and they'll come out and meet with you, or you can go to them, or they'll meet you at a restaurant, whatever. Techstar Pools, it's not swimming pool type weather, but they can fix your existing pool, all the area around it, the landscape and the rocks, and you need a barbecue pit built out there, they can do all of that. Jerry Swartz and then Swartz and Hanson are our architect sponsors. They have been on board with Larry's Kids and Fort Worth Memories forever. There's Rex Benson's new bar. It's in the old Macaroni Grill over on University. Now Rex added a patio to it that seats 200 or 300, faces the hotel. Lynn and Earl are in. Lynn, y'all are down in the high country, y'all hill country. Are y'all expecting a cold front like us? Raines Plumbing, that's a family-owned plumbing business, and I've had several good reviews. If you need a plumber, Raines Plumbing. And when you use these people, make sure you tell them you're FWM, your Fort Worth Memories. Charlie Guerin, Railhead Barbecue. Charlie is one of the directors on my board for Larry's Kids. He's our state rep. His brother Pete runs the Sid Richardson Foundation. Charlie is big. He was the second leading person to bring money in for Larry's Kids. I was first and he was second. So when you need, we eat at Railhead often. Passport Getaways, if you are thinking about going on a cruise or you want to go see the Eiffel Tower, these people can make it happen. Let them do the legwork. The Optimist Club of Fort Worth, they've been members on my group and contribute to our drives forever. OBS, what is that? Old South Pancake House, that's another Rex Benson company. They're 24/7 on University. Now they also have a Old South that is fairly new out in Burleson, but they close at 10 o'clock or something. K-Ranch Roofing is a roofing sponsor. That's Jorge Hernandez, and Bree is the office manager. She's very good at what she does. If you think you got roof damage, don't get up there and try to figure it out. You'll fall off and break your leg or your arm. Call them, they'll come out and look at it, tell them you're FWM, and they won't charge you anything for the inspection. There's Jenny Stewart. She is our State Farm insurance rep. So we all know that this car and home and all this insurance is through the roof. Don't wait until your policy comes due, because then you're going to get stuck at one place or another. Call Jenny's team. Let her give you a quote. It doesn't hurt to get a quote. If you've been with Farmers for 100 years, call State Farm. They are a big name company. Of course, so is Farmers, but Jenny's very good at what she does. She's got a great team over there. And I believe I've been told that she's going to run for city council. I think she would be a good city council member. I've interviewed her several times. She is a level-headed person, and she's just like me or you. She's not some big-time politician. So I will interview her as soon as I find out for sure if she is definitely in the race. I'm not even sure, but it's a city council race. More to come on that. Cross Electric, Brandon Cross. There's another family-owned business. They're electricians. Don't try to mess with it yourself. Electricity will kill you. Fort Worth Lumber. These folks have been with me ever since I've been on. In both things. The bike giveaway and the sponsorship. Express Den, if you got hail dings, door dings, anything, they're over on White Settlement Road. Dick Regester started it about the same time I started Classic over 40 years ago. But he lives in Florida now, and his operating partner is Eric. Just call Eric up, tell him you're bringing a car by, your FWM member, and see what it'll cost. Dickie Carr, Sand and Gravel. Me and Richard Carr go back to my gangster years, so but his daddy started Dickie Carr Sand and Gravel. Richard still has it, Pat and Richard Carr, and they're very, very big on civic matters. In fact, when I made Larry's Kids, the nonprofit this year, the first $5,000 check I got was from Richard Carr. Now there is Richard's nephew, Grateful for Your Trees. If you have any kind of tree issues, you call him up, and Dickie, and he's a young man, 20s or 30s. I've interviewed him a couple of times. He's very energetic and wants to do business with you. Steve Coburn, Coburn's Catering. I go back with the Coburns since 1960. Otha Coburn, Gary Coburn. But anyway, they still, if you're at this Midway or something this next 21 days at the stock show, if you're eating barbecue, you're eating it from Coburn's Catering. Bert Ladner Real Estate. Wes Williams, another director on Larry's Kids, is associated with that group. We have another real estate sponsor, Eric Walsh, who also is a director on my nonprofit. And I had a group call me the other day, and I guess our filings have been made, or our tax deal. They wanted to thank me. They said, we saw whatever reports are made, 100% of the money that we take in for Larry's Kids, every single penny is spent on bikes, toys, or helmets. The original startup cost for the attorneys and all of that was paid out of pocket. Not one penny is sent to anybody. So we're proud of our nonprofit. All of the money. There is no administration cost. I told everybody originally, if you got to get paid to do anything with Larry's Kids, you need to go somewhere else. Even the banks. We had 4 banks that wanted to be the depositing bank, and I told them whoever writes the biggest check, and it was Pinnacle. So we're proud of everything that we do. We're gonna have a board meeting in February, and I'm gonna bring up the deal of the backpacks with school supplies. We did that in 2018, 19, and 2020 because a child going to, little school or any of them, a backpack and school supplies, you got $300 or $400 invested, and some of these families have 2 or 3 kids. That's a huge investment. So, and we're even thinking about scholarships down the road. So Larry's Kids will always never have an administration cost, not as long as I'm alive. A-Bird, AC, Heating, and Ink. That's Dub Peacock. So you already know this year if your heat is not working, you can call and get somebody out there. Dub will send one of his technicians out there, and they'll tell you if you're whatever it takes to fix your heat and air. So we always, and we've got a new automotive sponsor coming on, Phelps Family Car Care. I want y'all to remember this next one. There again. Keep those animals inside. If you see somebody that's got a dog chained up outside, call the animal control or call me. Number one, that's against the law, and that's ridiculous. Armando is in, Weldon's in, George is in, Marquita's in. Marquita, you're always asking about Rosie. Rosie came over yesterday. We had a hour and 30-minute conversation. She's agreed that the only person from her family that'll be here will be her, and I think y'all all know who I'm talking about. So as soon as this cold snaps over, Rosie will be back working for me. She's worked for me over 28 years, and I'm glad that she's coming back. She's had a tough time of it, I can tell you that. So you can buy a gift certificate at a discounted price for all the cold weather, and once she gets back on board, if you like the work that she does as opposed to Sylvia or Michelle or the other girls or myself, all you got to do is you can act now and get a discount. Sandy is in. Sandy, I don't know what the question is, but we're eating at Tommy's at Ridgemar Circle. Imogene is in. On our other, how can you help on the animal shelters? I'm asking for some help from a lady that I talk to all the time about different events. She's kind of helping me coordinate some people to come over and help us with that, how we can help. But what it is we're gonna educate our group as to what's really going on with those animal shelters. There's nobody out there they don't get up and say, I'm gonna go euthanize 4 dogs today or cats. So don't get that through your head. There's people that go on these Facebooks and these other groups and they try to sell sensationalism. There's even reporters or different organizations, and I'm going to bring up the fact that I was not happy about the way some people treated my old world history teacher, which is Kay Granger. The issue that she has medically could happen to any one of us that are on here right now. So Kay Granger has been great for the city of Fort Worth, for the state of Texas, for the United States. She brought a lot of money in here. There's some issues that Kay and I had differences on, but that was it. I've never disrespected Kay at all about anything. She is a first-class lady that raised her kids, I believe, strictly by herself. She was my world history teacher in the 10th grade, and I wish her the best. And I've asked for prayers for her. Like I say, this is no different than anything else. You can look at Bruce Willis. We all love him. He's going through the same issues. So let's get off of trying to sell sensationalism. If that's all you got, you ain't got nothing. My opinion. Okay, so we're going to get to watch Kansas City today. Now I found out that it is on regular TV. There's our friend Arnold. If you ever want to know anything about the family courts or how you do something there, that Arnold can tell you top to bottom. When I kind of took on the family court issues, there's major problems over there, and Arnold's one of the good guys that does it the correct way through litigation. So if you need just some advice before you start pointing fingers or anything, get a hold of Arnold. He'll respond to you. He's a good guy. What else? Trying to think. Anybody got anything they need to bring up? I'm here. Y'all all hunker down. We did hear from our group in Israel, and I asked them if the ceasefire is real, and they said yes. our members, we've got 138 members in Tel Aviv, Israel. They're all back in their homes now. They've either lived in Fort Worth, some of them, their parents went to TCU, but they keep in touch with Fort Worth through memories. And every year except this year, they've donated funds for the bike giveaway. So our prayers have been answered there. We lost 4 of our members, and it was all one family. They were actually at the hospital that was bombed in October of year before last, I guess. On the original bombing, it killed the mother and the boy. The boy was in there for a routine checkup or something, and it severely wounded the daughter and the husband, but they're all gone now. That whole family was wiped out. So, but we've got members in 140 countries throughout the world, and we're in every state of the United States. We've got a large presence in Canada and a couple of thousand in Mexico. So we welcome everybody. We're glad that you come on. We need to keep our military in our prayers this weekend. There's a lot of hot areas that stuff's going on, and we don't think about when we're at home asleep. It's our first responders that are allowing that, and our military all over the world. They allow us to be able to go to sleep without worrying somebody's going to bomb us. You can't say the same thing in Israel. So we don't have a clue how some of these other people live in these other countries. I'll be here till about 12:30. I'll be over at Tommy's about 1 o'clock. Don't forget, there's not going to be able to pull together all of the tables. So we'll just have to seat 4 or 5 to a table and try to get as close as we can. We want to thank Brittany. She's my New Jersey secretary, and she does all of our phone calls. She's a Cowtown girl. She's up. We got her on loan to New Jersey. She always makes the phone calls and does all of the legwork for me over here. What else? Nobody else got anything they want to discuss? Okay. How do you see the county commissioners? That's all. You can get all of that. Fort Worth has a television channel. You can watch city council meetings. You can watch the workshops. You can watch everything. It's real transparent. And same with county commissioners. Yeah, they're not hiding anything. Am I sure what? Yes, Maddie, I saw it on the internet. She is running again for a 3rd term. I always stay neutral, but I can guarantee you, I don't know of a better mayor than Maddie Parker, and I've been following all of them, all the way back from Sharkey Stovall. I interviewed Bob Bolin many times. That's when I did it with reel-to-reel recordings. That's for the internet. At the last Larry's Kids bike giveaway in December, we had Mike Moncrief, Betsy Price, and Maddie Parker, and they all gave away bikes to kids. You can call. I'll send you her number, not her cell number. I do have it, but I'll send you the number to get a hold of. Bethany is Maddie's chief of staff, and she's very good. They respond to all messages. They want to know. If you ever need to talk about whatever district you're in, call your city council member. These folks are there to answer your questions. And like I say, you can talk to Bethany, and if Maddie, if Mayor Parker, if you need her to call you, she will call you. She's on top of Fort Worth, and I can tell you that, and does a great job. Okay, what else? Well, we're over 100 now. Sarah is in. Where is the McDonald's that there's no employees? I know the new one they're building over there off Roberts Cutoff and White Settlement's supposed to be that way too. But the other one is where? Does anybody know? There is one, and I've been told there is one employee. But you do everything. You pull through the drive-thru, you pay with your card, and you pull up and it puts your food out. There's Stacy. Stacy helps me with a lot of stuff. Yes, we are fortunate to have Maddie Parker. Now I'm gonna tell you, I worked with Maddie on the Mary Keys Gibson deal. That would not have happened without Maddie Parker. Now I'm just gonna tell you that, and that goes back to what, 2017 or 2018. Aaron is on. Aaron, I'm glad you're back on. You got whatever the differences were worked out with Scott. If you ever get booted, Scott is the person you need to contact. It's very rare that I boot anybody anymore. Scott keeps a close eye on it. If you go on there and start cussing or raising hell, he'll boot you. And it doesn't do you any good to come to me, because he has 100% of my support on that. There was some situation with Aaron where Aaron was actually defending me. Oh, and I'll tell you what it was. I posted a picture of Pete Hegseth and myself in this museum, and all I said was good luck on the confirmation hearing, and I didn't allow any comments. And then somebody went on there and said, oh, Larry's broke the rule about politics, which, what did it have to do with Fort Worth? He was in the Fort Worth Memories Museum when that picture was taken. But Scott told me that Aaron actually defended me, and I've got thick skin. People, I'm kind of like Trump. I don't care if they talk bad or good, just talk about me. So anyway, I'm glad to see you're back on our giveaways. And Stacy, I agree with you. Maddie has been incredible. She's done a lot of, and she doesn't mind saying what she thinks either. Y'all can remember one of the comments she made shortly after her last election winning is the Republican Party there's too much infighting. We're our own worst enemy. I'm an independent, but the GOP is its own worst enemy, and it hadn't changed any. And so she said it publicly, but she's good. All I do is introduce her, and then she just starts talking. She reads your comments and answers them. There's only two people I've ever done that with, and that's Maddie Parker and Bud Kennedy. They're both excellent speakers. Okay, so it's almost 10. I got some stuff to do around here. Don't forget, do not leave those puppies outside, or cats. Bring them in. You don't want to be out there, and they dang sure don't either. We're eating at Tommy's on Ridgemore Circle. Keep in mind, January 30th, if you wear TCU purple, it's got to say TCU, Brittany said. On the 30th, that's on a Thursday, you're going to get in the Midway and the exhibits buildings for free. Everybody can park over here at the museum, and then we can shuttle over there in vans or something, and you can park here for free, because if you park around Will Rogers, it's $35. So on that Thursday, we'll go early, and everybody will have to come back here by 2. I want to be out of here by 2:30. So that way it gets you in free, and there's no parking. So all you got to worry about is having enough money to eat out there, get a good barbecue sandwich or something from Coburn's Catering, and whatever else you want to do. Heck, we might get on the roller coaster. I do not know the answer to that. Yes, Sheriff Wyburn was he was at the county commissioners meeting this Tuesday, just 3 or 4 days ago. No, they did not. He was not requested. He came on his own, from what I understand. That's Elisa Simmons. I worked with her on a couple of deals. She is very thorough. You can't kind of put her off and think she's not going to talk about it. she'll get to the bottom of whatever. I promise you. You can't dismiss her. Okay. Don't forget, you got to bundle up. Oh, and I did hear back from Dr. B. He's waiting to see if RFK does get approved or confirmed, I think is how they word it. If RFK Jr. is confirmed, Dr. B will be going to DC. He's got to be on that team. So it's thumbs up for Dr. B. He's helped out. I don't know how many of our members have called him. I've given out his cell phone number many times. And he's super. He and Donald Trump, Trump called him to the White House when Trump was in office and COVID started. He's in Midland. Rooster is Matthew McConaughey's brother, and he's very good friends with Dr. B. So is Matthew McConaughey. So is their mother. Yeah, but that's Rooster. Rooster's been here too. That's Matthew's brother. Okay, gotta go, folks. Got stuff to do. See y'all at the luncheon, 1 o'clock.